Most things that kill don't keep souvenirs. I should have noticed that first. Instead, I noticed the smell. Wet fur, river rot, and threaded under it, lavender soap. The kind a dead woman would have washed with 3 days ago. The village called it a demon. They were wrong, and I understand the mistake. When a thing in the dark takes 3 of your people, you don't reach for the precise word. You reach for the biggest one you own. 3 of ours. My nephew was the last. It dragged him down the sinkhole, and we never. There wasn't enough to bury. There rarely is. You'll kill it. I'll settle it. Killing is the easy half. The association calls us keepers. The villages call us exterminators. My old instructor called us the people who arrive after the screaming, the only honest name any of us ever earned. It died the way overworked things do, like setting down a load it had carried too far. I waited for the relief I'm supposed to feel. It didn't come, which is usually the first sign the job hasn't actually started. Then the ground opened its book. Cause of grief, self, condition of closure. The grave will not seal until the keeper speaks its true name. It had none. None was given. None was earned in the tongue of men. You may not borrow what the village feared. You must say what it was. Of course, it didn't have a name. Nothing down here did. A name. Not a sword, not a right, not a coin. The one thing the people upstairs had refused it on purpose, because to name a thing is to admit it's real, and they needed it to be a demon so they could sleep. You can't name a thing you haven't read, and everything alive writes itself down somewhere. A den is a diary kept in objects. So I read. Trophies. That's what they'd say. The monster collected pieces of its kills. Except trophies rot. You take a trophy, you forget it. These were cleaned, recently, daily, by the wear. A killer keeps trophies to remember the killing. This kept its things to keep them clean. There's a difference, and the difference is the whole life. It slept high, feared the flood, smart, and it never went near the deep pool. The silt by every other edge is churned. That one's glass. That was where it put what it couldn't save. Not a larder, a grave. The beast dug itself a grave pool, never ate from it, and walked the long way around its own dead every day of its locked-up life. It wasn't hoarding, it was burying. 3 villagers. I'd come down sure of 3 murders. But murderers don't keep funerals for fish. So I unbaked the loaf to find the recipe. It had been a cave mouth once, before some quake sealed the village's sinkhole into its only door. The water rose, the light went, the otters drowned or fled, and the soft-eyed thing that ate shellfish and minded its own pool woke to find the world had ended for reasons it would never be told. Hungry, surrounded by the food it loved, watching that food run out. 3 times across 3 lean winters, warmth came down the hole. To a starving animal in the dark, a man isn't a man. He's the first meat in a month, and this one fights back. So it killed to eat and ate to live. And then, here's the part the village will never let me say at the well. It took something small off each one, and cleaned that small thing and set it on a shelf. Because some animals know, in whatever way an animal knows anything, when they've done what the river never asked of them. You poor, careful brute. You were keeping vigil. You just had no word for it either. There's a shortcut here. I won't pretend it didn't cross me. The ledger wants a true name, but a grave half settles for a near miss. I could call it Mourner. Pretty. close enough to climb out on and tell the elder his demon's dead. But a near name is a lie with good manners, and lies don't stay buried any longer than the truth they stand in for. I've dug up enough of my own shortcuts to know who pays for them. Always the next keeper down the rope. Not what you did, what you were. You were the last thing left alive in a room the world forgot to leave a door in. The rite isn't grand. People expect incantations. It's mostly saying the true thing out loud where the truth can hear it. The bell is so the truth knows when to leave.
Warden, not warden of the hill, not the village's beast. Warden of the dark you couldn't get out of, and of the small dead you kept honest company. A door closed on you, and you guarded what was left. That's all you ever were. That's enough. I name you, and I let you go.
Grief settled. Grave sealed. True. Keeper Caine. Increment recorded. Fragment recovered. Read the lair. The eye that reconstructs a life from what it left arranged. The choir. 1,000,000 to 999,997. A million, less 3. The choir is the count of every grief the world hasn't settled. A keeper spends his whole life trying to make that number smaller. I'd been told it moves when a grave seals true. Tonight, it moved by 3. I filed that away for a soberer hour and went looking for my rope. The letter shouldn't have been dry. It shouldn't have been there at all. A commission, keeper. Not from the association, though you'll assume so, and I'll let you. You did well by the warden. Yes, I know you named it warden. I know about the spoon it polished, and the pool it walked around, and the door that closed. None of which you have told a living soul. None of which you ever will. There is other grief that wants you. Come north. A eulogist. I haven't surfaced yet. Nobody's heard the name. Nobody could have. Association commissions come stamped, signed, and 3 weeks late. They don't know what you named a beast you met an hour ago. I told myself it was the association anyway, because the alternative was a person who could read the inside of a sealed cave and the inside of my skull, and I wasn't ready, kneeling in cold water, to believe in that person. Some lies you tell the village. The good ones you save for yourself. And then the grave finished closing, and the bell rang on its own. Once. Twice. One for the elder's nephew, one for the woman with the lavender soap, one for the third name I never asked. 3 rings, one for each villager the warden killed. One for the elder's nephew, one for the woman with the lavender soap, one for the third name I never asked. 3 rings, one for each villager the warden killed. One for the elder's nephew, one for the woman with the lavender soap, one for the third name I never asked. 3 rings, one for each villager the warden killed. None for the beast. The bell mourned the 3 it took and stopped. Tidy, except the ledger had told me the truth on its way out, and the truth was 3, not 4. 1,000,000 less 3. I named the warden right. I felt it seal, and the count didn't fall for it. Something in the world refused the warden's mourning, took the 3 villagers off the books, and left the beast precisely where it lay, unforgiven, uncounted, by a hand that was neither mine nor the ledger's. I'd named the dead thing true, and something I couldn't see had looked at my work and quietly, completely said no. I don't even know your name yet, but you already know mine.